What's going on, everyone? So reports have came out that the Golden State Warriors are supposed to push heavy for LeBron James. They tried to acquire and trade for him last season, and that got shut down by Rich Paul, per reports. But this season, they are expected to kind of ramp up their efforts and really try to make a push to convince LeBron James to come to the Golden State Warriors, that they are enamored with the idea of Steph Curry and LeBron James teaming up and kind of going on that one last run, that one last push to try to win another championship. And there is an argument to be made either way for both sides. Right now, there's still a lot of just like questions and speculation and stuff about LeBron James. Like, why did he take this leave of absence? You know, people are going off on all kinds of conspiracies and whatnot. More often than not, it's just the straightforward answer, right? Like, he probably has some personal issues, right? Like, he has family, he has friends, he has things. Like, who knows what's going on behind the scenes, right? There's all this speculation, there's all this guessing. There are people that think, like, you know, that he's weighing his options and deciding, you know, do I really want to be traded this season? You know, do I want to retire, right? Like, people can have their speculation, but at the end of the day, we have no idea, right? Like, we have no idea what is really going on with LeBron, what really happening. He's had a nagging foot issue for like years now. It could just be he wants to go and get that looked at. He might be just flying to go talk to doctors and try to get his foot issue worked out, right? So he can keep playing and get better, right? And that's something you wouldn't want to, that would be a personal issue. That'd be something you don't want the media and fans and stuff to find out about, because now just people are just going to run with it, right? Like, oh, LeBron's washed, get rid of him, whatever, right? Like, so, you know, whatever the personal reasons are, personal reasons. But it is at least interesting, right? It's just the timing of it all these rumors start coming out about LeBron potentially being traded, going to the Warriors, and then he just takes a leave of absence, right? Could be a coincidence. It's just a questionable one. Definitely makes you raise an eyebrow, but nonetheless, it's pure speculation, right? However, I do think that there is an argument to be made for both sides. Obviously, many of you know I have a Laker channel. I am a Laker fan. That's my team, right? But I also can take myself out of the Laker fan and, you know, put myself in just like from a basketball perspective. And I do think from both sides, there is a lot of just realism there. I don't believe, and I want to start by saying, I don't believe LeBron James leaves the Lakers. He's had multiple opportunities to leave the Lakers and has not. Even in the very beginning, when he first went to the Lakers, there was an argument to be made that it made no sense and it wasn't for basketball reasons, right? Like, there was several other teams. Literally, there was like 10 teams in the league that he could have went to that weren't the Lakers and probably won multiple championships by that point. So the fact that he went to the Lakers was odd because they were like one of the worst teams in the league, terrible. Like, yeah, they had a bunch of young talent, a bunch of tradable assets, but even that's not guaranteed, right? It wasn't until like, oh, Anthony Davis is a possibility, everything changed. But like that first year in particular, and then he had his like first major injury that season, like it was like, wait, like this might have been a terrible decision. You know, looking back in hindsight, it's like, okay, you could still argue it either way, but you know, they got a championship out of it, right? So, you know, all sides kind of got what they wanted, at least in the beginning, right? But now, looking at the perspective, right? If LeBron was to want out, if LeBron was to be traded, I don't believe he goes anywhere else but the Warriors, right? There's been little talks and murmurs about, oh, what about Sacramento, right? They have talent. He's not going anywhere. If he goes anywhere, if he leaves the Lakers, if he leaves his family, it's to go play with Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. He's close enough to home. Guy's a billionaire. He could take the 30-minute, 40-minute private jet to go, private jet ride to go get to his family. I mean, he could do that every day. I mean, he would get to his family faster than just getting through LA traffic, right? Like, trust me, like if he was going to go anywhere, it would be the Warriors, to play with Steph, try to win a championship, you know, be with that organization that's willing to do whatever it takes, and then still be close enough to home, still be in California to work on all his business ventures and companies and, you know, be close to his family and all that stuff. So I don't believe any other team is a realistic option for LeBron James except for the Warriors. So if a trade was to get done, again, it does make sense for both sides. One, there is an argument that the Lakers should just do that, right? Just go get Kuminga and Moody and Wiggins and all these other things and just kind of see how that plays out, right? Maybe you hit the full reset button and look to trade Anthony Davis in the offseason. I don't think you could really do it this season just because the Lakers, you know, they don't own their pick. Atlanta has their pick, so it's like, you know, there is we can't really go full tank mode to go try to get a top lottery pick. Right? You kind of need to be the best version of this team as possible. Maybe even take the Warriors package and go and try to turn it into another star. Maybe you do go try to make a push and go get a Trae Young or something like that, right? Because now you have the assets to make it work. And Trae Young, Anthony Davis, with the moves that you make or guys that you keep, you still make the similar moves that you were going to make with LeBron, right? Boom, there you go. Maybe that's kind of the route that they go. There is an argument to be made in that regard. Now, from the Warriors side of things, I mean, it makes all that from financial to player, right? Steph and LeBron having those two team up, getting to go like one last push the story. The basketball fan in me would love it. Seriously. Again, remove my Laker bias. I would love to see LeBron James and Steph Curry team up and go compete and try to win an NBA championship. Those two try to get to number 5 and 6 together. I mean, it would be so special to see, so much fun to watch. Now, the Laker fan in me wants to still see that, just in the purple and gold with Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Steph Curry. But I digress, right? In all seriousness, right? Like, it does make sense for the Warriors. You got this small window for Steph. And I've talked about with the Warriors. Warriors need to pick a direction. I've said the same thing about the Lakers. If LeBron wants to be traded, fine. You need to have a real, honest conversation with LeBron James. You need to have a real talk with LeBron James. Figure it out. Because you don't want to go and trade all your assets, do all this crazy stuff, and then LeBron goes, you know what, trade me to the Warriors, right? Like, that's the last thing you need, right? So, Lakers need to pick a direction. Are you going to rebuild? Are you going to stick with LeBron and AD and try to build a contender around those two? Same thing I've talked about with the Warriors, right? You got Steph Curry. You don't have 7 years to kind of figure this out. You got 2, 3. Steph's game and the way he shoots, he could probably play till he's 50 if you're willing to, but realistically, probably looking at like a 2-3 year window, right? You can't have this rebuild and contention trajectory. They're two completely different directions, right? Like, yes, you want to have a balance of youth and age, but still, like, you need to have that balance. But you can't have two different trajectories, right? So if you're the Warriors, either A, trade Steph and give him an opportunity to go, hey, where do you want to go? Whether it's the Lakers or it's another team, right? Where do you want to go that you believe gives you the best chance to win an NBA championship, and move off of him, get as much young talent, as many assets and picks and whatever else you can for Steph, and then, stay the rebuild course if you're the Warriors, right? Or, yes, do what you're doing right now. Make a strong push for LeBron James. Right? Like, I don't knock the Warriors at all for trying to really pursue LeBron. I mean, look at the pot that they've stirred up, right? For LeBron and Laker fans and just the NBA and reporters and all that. I mean, they've really just stirred that, like, heavily. And they're going to continue to stir that. And so I think if you're the Warriors, it makes sense to go after a LeBron. I think most likely than not, they probably land. Like, if I had to guess, like, Tyler, like, who do you think ends up being that star on the Warriors? I think Jimmy Butler's probably the most likely. I just don't think it cost you a ton. Jimmy Butler has a little control and power, right? Because he could just opt out and leave any team, right? Like, him and Steph, no one, and I mean no one, would want to play Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry in a playoff series, a 7-game series, right? And we've seen Steph Curry plus Andrew Wiggins playing at like an all-star level got them an NBA championship. What could him and Jimmy Butler do? Right? And Jimmy Butler has done more with less than probably any other star in the league, right? Like, that dude's just turned water into wine regularly, right? Like, some of those runs. But also, big difference being in the Eastern Conference as opposed to being in the Western Conference. So it's something else to keep in mind as well when you kind of weigh that and value that. You only have to go through like 2 teams every season to get to the finals, where the Western Conference, it's like, no, there's like 10 teams that you may end up having to go through to go win an NBA championship, right? Or get to the finals. Big difference. Obviously, you don't play all of them, but you get the point, right? But nonetheless, right? Look, if you're going to do it, right? From both sides. If you're the Lakers, like, and supposedly Lakers are willing to trade LeBron if he wants to be traded, if he asks out and is like, hey, you know what? I want to go to the Warriors, then fine. No, like, I'm not opposed to it either way. From as a Laker fan to just a basketball fan. It makes a lot of sense for all sides. It makes a lot of sense for both parties, right? It's just, the Warriors, you got to go get that other star. Like, Warriors need a star. Lakers need upgrades at just the quality of rotation guys, the quality of role players, right? So you have two teams that have very different, like Warriors have the role players. That's why LeBron kind of makes some sense, because you'd have like the 2 stars and the role players. Lakers need the role players, right? Like, problem is if you lose LeBron, then you need that other star, not just the role player. So it's just kind of like, you're not going to be able to mix the two, is what I'm getting at. But, I think LeBron going there, get some young guys, Lakers could hit that reset button. It's interesting. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that LeBron should be traded? Do you think the Warriors should, yes, push hard? Do you think it's the right choice? Do you think no, go a different direction? Would you rather have like Jimmy Butler? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. I love to hear it either way, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.